Hey everybody, Sean here, and I hope you're doing well. Yes, you read that title correctly, so let's jump right in. And special thanks to CP for sharing this. This video is called A 3-Year-Old Girl with Supernatural Powers to Heal All Diseases Shocked Everyone. And you'll notice this has over 1.5 million views with 20,000 thumbs up. So let's take a look at this and see what we find.
In Tanzania, there's an extraordinary 3-year-old. She gets water, prays for it, and turns it into holy water. That holy water heals people from different diseases, and even some deadly ones.
So this little girl magically changes the water into holy water, and it heals diseases. This is obviously rooted in Catholicism.
She has healed many sick people with different diseases, and she's becoming famous because of miracles she performs. What is so unusual is that as other normal babies are born after 9-month pregnancy, for her, she spent 3 years in her mother's womb, and she even started talking at 7 months.
So we've got to believe that she was in her mother's womb for 3 years. This is obviously medically impossible, and of course they provide no proof of this except her testimony.
Nimembeba tumboni miaka mitatu.
The mother says that since the day she was pregnant, she had the baby moving around the womb and later stopped. She then felt too much pain, and she always worried that she might produce via C-section. But after 3 years, she had a normal delivery. Later, Eunice started manifesting superpowers as the baby started speaking, listening and answering everything, and even walking at only 7 months. What kind of a child is this that she even heals mad people? She heals the deaf, heals cancer, and casts away evil spirits and demons. Where does she get this authority from?
Yes, where does she get this authority from? We're gonna find out soon.
The appearance of this extraordinary child, named Eunice, is a family of 11 children, and Eunice is the last born. The 2 parents are all Christians from the Catholic Church. Parents say they also have nowhere to start as they witness miracles daily, and more special abilities. They believe that the more she grows, the more her superpowers increase.
So this little girl is from a Catholic family, and we'll learn more as we go.
Eunice was playing around with other children while her parents were inside the house. Eunice raised the hand and said, "Mommy's calling." But others replied, "She's not, for we would have heard the voice." But she said, "No, I'm not talking about the biological mother. I'm talking about another mother," she replied. She stood up, going to the other mother she mentioned, and fellow kids followed her. In front of them, there was a burning flame, and Eunice ran toward that flame. Her fellow friend tried and stopped her, but she was stronger than them, and she entered that burning flame. Fellow children ran back home and said everything, as they thought she could burn completely. Parents hurried up and met Eunice on her return, and she immediately knelt down, said the Hail Mary prayer, and concluded with St. Ignatius' prayer. Parents were surprised and approached church leaders. They phoned when the baby would recite well that Hail Mary prayer and were shocked knowing that she was never taught anything.
Okay, so that was quite the story, but we know 100% that this was not God's doing. It was supposedly Mary calling her, and let's just remember that speaking to the dead and reading the Hail Mary prayer is asking the dead to pray for you, and that's witchcraft. So Mary wasn't doing that. And even if it was Mary, she would not lead that little girl to recite the Hail Mary prayer. She would be pointing everything towards God.
From there, she started showing her special talents as she prayed for us, and we could see the flame of fire on top of the head. She could pray, and the next day, fire from heaven would cover her, but she would not get burned. Holy Mary started visiting and appearing to her since young.
Well, we can be sure that Mary didn't start appearing to her because Mary is still waiting for the first resurrection, as all that have died are. And number 2, God is not a God of confusion, and that's all this does, is confuse people and draw them to the false religion of Catholicism.
It's not the first time in Catholic history talking about Marian apparitions. In all Marian apparitions, the Blessed Virgin Mary often visits young children. For example, the Fatima children in Portugal, who were between the ages of 7 and 10. and Aeneas is one of the many young children that were visited by the Virgin Mary and went on performing a lot of miracles in front of many.
Or could this be Satan or a fallen angel appearing as an angel of light to deceive people into thinking the Catholic Church is special? That's where my vote's going.
There are always crowds of people who come to pray from here, and most of them always look forward to be healed from deadliest diseases, cancer, bewitched ones, madness, and more. It's done for free of charge, and parents wish to see more people coming here and witness more miracles by Mother Mary through the young Aeneas.
So Mother Mary is getting the credit for these miracles, not God. And we'll talk about why there actually may be so-called miracles at the end.
The Serengeti Park, known for many wild animals such as zebras and gazelle. This hilly and mountainous region is where Mary appeared to Aeneas. In a message from Mary, she said,
Tujenge nyumba. Amekuambia ufanyaje? Nyumba ya jiwe.
Mary appeared to her the day before we came here, and she was told to build a church using stones and urged to always pray. Jesus is my brother and Mother Mary is my mom.
So Mary appears and tells her to build a house for Mary and urges her to pray, Jesus is my brother and Mary is my mom. Sure, Jesus said in Matthew 12 that whoever shall do the will of my Father which is in heaven, the same is my brother and sister and mother. But I'm pretty sure Mary would be encouraging people to call Jesus Lord, not bro. And she would definitely not be encouraging focus on herself as our mother. She was Jesus' mother, not ours.
I pray for the water I use when I heal people by pouring holy water on them. And those who believe get healed.
Okay, so what's really happening here? Are people really getting healed? We have no way of telling because all we're hearing is stories. But what we do know is that they've said it's Mary doing the healing. And this puts focus on the little girl and not God. So if this healing isn't of God and some people are getting healed, how would that happen? Well, this is what I think is possibly happening, and the same goes for these deliverance ministries as well. Unclean spirits or spirits of infirmity can cause sickness, diseases, and ailments. And what a perfect way for Satan to deceive people. Demons are causing all these problems, and when the little girl pours her so-called holy water on the people, the demons simply leave and make it appear like they were healed, and then everyone puts their faith in this girl or Mother Mary and never comes to a true understanding of Jesus and salvation. What a perfectly wicked deception. I think the same goes for deliverance ministries, because let's be honest, many in the church are not saved. Jesus told us that many that call him Lord on Judgment Day were people he never knew, and these are people alive today that call him Lord. So, unsaved people that attend church and think they're Christians get demons cast out of them and therefore believe Christians can have demons, but they aren't really saved anyways. Then the demon makes his way into another so-called believer, causes some problems, and gets cast out, when he's not really getting cast out, he's just leaving to give the impression that they were cast out and that these false deliverance teachers are real. I believe Satan is having a good old time, deceiving people in false religions and movements in this way. But that is just my personal opinion. But I believe this little girl is being used by God as much as I believe deliverance ministries are real. And that's about a 0%. But what about you? With this video of the 3-year-old and deliverance ministries today, what do you think is actually going on? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and until next time, take care and God bless.